Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley, along with Tim Fitzgerald. Welcome back to the Big 12 Insiders. Today is game day, covering all the games this weekend for the Big 12. It's a better group of games this week than it was last week. That is for sure. Last week, let's just be honest, it was a laugher. It was a laugher in the conference. And if we're being honest, it was pretty much a laugher all over the country. I mean, it wasn't great.
No. Yeah.
But this week, at least in the Big 12, great. And I'm excited. You know, got some good games. There's still some meaningful games out there, people. The season is not over. It is not over. And teams got to keep winning, got to finish the season. I shouldn't say everybody. There's still a lot of teams that have an opportunity to be able to get to Arlington, but this week is kind of the week. It's really put up or shut up if you're trying to get to Arlington. So we'll see exactly what happens here within the conference. So before we get started, remember to like, follow, subscribe, continue to get in the comments, and always hit the notification bell so you know exactly when Big 12 Insiders content comes out. Fitz, how are you doing today?
I'm good. We're in the overlap. We got basketball going on all around us. Football coming up this weekend. It's a viewer's paradise, a sports journalist's hell. but it's fun.
It's been some good basketball in the Big 12 the last couple of days. Last night was really good. Arizona-UConn game was very good. Arizona and I'm sorry, UConn fans. I don't want to hear about how, we had some guys that were hurt. Whatever. Okay, you played a basketball game at home and you got beat. Deal with it. Arizona's really good, by the way. In case anybody didn't know, Arizona's really good.
This conference is going to beat the snot out of each other all season long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The conference basketball. Ooh. And we were talking off air. And before we get started, guys, again, I told you I'd talk about basketball. I told you I wasn't going to wait. And we were talking before the show. There might be teams that lose 10, 11 conference games that are really, really good basketball teams and get into the tournament. That's why winning these games early against these non-conference games early against other teams from Power 4 conferences, that's why it's important. That's why the SEC got the reputation that it got last year, because early in the season, it won all the games. And if you win all the games, they're going to give you some cachet at the end of the season. Big 12 needs to take advantage of that. So, yeah,
we saw some teams get off to slow starts. You can't anymore when it comes to the reputation game.
Nope.
And what you do in this non-conference schedule, because conference play is self-contained. I mean, they feel like they already know how good a conference is before you get to conference play.
Correct.
So you're going to live with that judgment the rest of the year, all the way into the selection Sunday. So you got to beef it up right now.
Couldn't said it any better. They did it to Arizona last year. They held the conference accountable because Arizona lost games early and everybody thought Arizona wasn't any good. And then when Arizona started winning games in the Big 12 because they were actually a good team, they just started slow. It happens. And they were also playing good competition. Sometimes you don't win every single game, especially in November. But everybody thought, Arizona's not any good, but they're winning these games in the Big 12, so the Big 12's not good. Turns out, when the tournament happened, wait a minute, Arizona was good, weren't they? Oh, yeah, they were. Oh, and the Big 12 actually was a good conference. Oh, but perception is reality. You just got to win the games. That's all. Got to win the games.
Got to win.
Let's move on. Big games all over the conference this week, but this first one is not. Well, even before we start that, last week we were both 3-3. We both took a flyer on 2 games, and we both ended up winning those flyers. But we both finished 3-3. Fitz 31-30 on the season. I'm 34-27. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. Fitz gonna have to start taking some flyers to catch up. He's gonna have to take some flyers to catch up. And this just might be the week for that. It might be the week for that. So, but this first game, we'll see. Oklahoma State traveling to UCF, -14.5. Oklahoma State keeps fighting, not talented. UCF has been pummeled 2 of the last 3 weeks, but they're at home. They're more talented. 14.5. It seems like a lot, Fitz. I'll take a stab at this one, and I'm going to say that UCF covers. I'm going to say that UCF gets after Oklahoma State and maybe takes out a little frustration over the last couple of weeks that they've had, and they ended up winning maybe by 17 points in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think what happened last week was kind of last hurrah of Oklahoma State. They came close, but they've given up, other than that game, 38 plus points a game.
Correct.
I think UCF will do that. I'd love to see Oklahoma State find a way to win, but I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen this season. So it's too bad, but next season will be here before you know it, Cowboy fans. Next game. I actually think this is a really good football game, Fitz. Not going to matter as far as the Big 12 standings, but Kansas got to win this one to get to a bowl game. Kansas traveling to Iowa State. Iowa State minus 3.5. Early kick. Well, not early. It's 11 a.m. kickoff. But I think it's a good game. I really do. I think that Kansas, again, they got to win this game because they're not beating Utah next week. That's not going to happen. At least it doesn't appear that it could happen, especially the way Kansas plays run defense. But so this is the game for them. They want to go to a bowl. You got to go to Jack Trice Stadium and win. Iowa State, after a week off, and here's the thing, Iowa State has basically played bad football for the last month and a half. They lost 4 of those games. They ended up winning one against TCU, but they haven't played good football, Fitz, in a while. Do they turn it around? I'll let you go first on this one. It's like I said, Iowa State at home minus 3.5.
Can I pick the officials to win? This is going to be a great game. Really hard to predict. I'm struggling with this. I'm going to stick with Iowa State at home. I don't like to bet against the Cyclones at Jack Trice.
Right.
But I won't be surprised if Kansas pulls out one more decent performance because I would suspect Jalen Daniels doesn't want to go down without a Final Bowl.
Yeah. That's kind of my thinking. Like I said, Iowa State hasn't played well in a while. It hasn't. I know they've been I'm not saying they haven't been competitive in games, but talking about actually playing good football, it's been several weeks since we've seen Iowa State do that. And I don't know. If Kansas doesn't make a bowl game, last year was a colossal failure. This will be right up there with it if they don't make a bowl game this year.
I agree.
But I'm taking Iowa State. All that being said, I'm taking Iowa State. Iowa State does something that Kansas is allergic to. Iowa State runs the football. Kansas is allergic to stopping the run. And I just think Rocco Beck has not played good in a while. And I think Iowa State is the type of team, okay, fine. We got 2 running backs that can run the football. Beck can run it. We'll do whatever we have to do to win a football game. They might run it 55 times.
Yep.
Okay, you need to run it 55 times. You do. Give me Iowa State minus 3.5. Baylor going to Arizona. Arizona, look, riding high, coming off a big win on the road. Not a program builder because Arizona's program is built, but more of a program stabilizer and on an upward trajectory to say, okay, yes, we can beat a good football team. Now, whether you think Cincinnati is great or not, that's first of all, they're not great, but that's a different conversation. But they are a good team, and Arizona went there and won. So you got to give them a ton of credit. I like this Arizona team. I've liked their defense all year. That hasn't wavered. Some thought, well, maybe it's just the non-conference. It's the early season. Their defense has been a solid defense all year long. But it's a different challenge this week, though, going against Baylor. Is that Baylor I mean, they can put up points, they can put up yards through the air, man, and they can also run it when you think so. But I think the defense will be too much because I think they're going to get after Baylor. I think you can attack Baylor's offensive line. You can pressure Sawyer Robertson. He might get some yards, but their defense isn't going to stop anything. They're not going to stop anything Arizona does. -6.5. Give me Arizona.
Yeah, look, there's 3 games involving previous Big 12 schools, let's put it that way, before the double expansion took place, on the road at new schools. And I think the old Big 12 loses every one of them. I'm going with Arizona in this one too. I think Baylor missed its chance at a great season.
Yep.
And here they are sitting at 5-5, 3-4 in the conference. I just don't see them coming out with much fire.
Nope. Absolutely. Especially what's going on there. AD going to be gone.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Head coach. It's wild that the AD is going to be gone, but the coach is probably going to be there for another year. And then the new AD is going to say, yeah, I want my guy. I mean, that's a weird place to be as a program, Fitz. That's a bad place to be.
Well, I mean, if you're Dave Aranda, if your agent hears about any decent jobs,
he's got to go. That's right.
You got to go, man.
Yeah.
Unless your buyout's tremendous and you just want that.
That's different. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, look, if I was in my 50s and someone gave me $20 million to go away, I'm willing to go away for less too, people. I mean, if you want me to go away for like 15 million, we can talk. I'm going to go away to an island and get a beach and have a waiter bring me fruity drinks all day.
Yeah.
That's my life goal though. So
I mean, these buyouts in college football are starting to be ridiculous.
And they're going to get worse, Big B. They're going to get worse because it's a competitive environment now for the agents and coaches are in an advantage because all these ADs are going to be panicking. And the buyouts and the money they're going to throw around to get their guy is just going to escalate this more.
Yeah,
this
the
is
power
not ending.
It's absolutely shifted because of NIL, and this is just a byproduct of it is because if I'm shelling out all this money for NIL and to get the best players, if this coach can't get it done, we need to get another coach in here immediately because it doesn't take 3, 4, 5 years to turn a program around. It doesn't take that. My money and my fellow boosters' money should be able to get us better immediately.
Yep.
And that sometimes that's unrealistic, but you look at it, it's not. You look at a place like Indiana, it's not. And that's the difference. And I think that's what, and again, I know we're going off on a tangent, but that's okay. Y'all can deal with it. It's a place like Indiana was downtrodden forever.
Yep.
They have no real football history at all. And now look at them. They were in the playoff last year. Maybe they shouldn't have been, but they were. And now you look at Indiana and you're like, well, yeah, they're one of the better teams in the country. If you just watch football, I'm not saying they've had the greatest schedule, but you just watch football and you're like, well, they got a good D-line. They can run it. They can throw it. Their quarterback's really good. They got good weapons. Okay, that's a good football team. And it just took some money from a place like Indiana, who actually has the money, but they spent a lot of it in basketball. Well, some people said, well, why can't we just be good in football? Well, you can. You got to hire the right guy, put the resources in the right spot, get the right people, and boom, you can be good. So,
Agreed.
Crazy. Moving on, people. Sorry about that tangent, but had to do it. Kansas State going to Utah. This one is
Utah. That's my pick. Utah.
Oh. This one is a wild spread, Fitz. 17.5. There's no way in the world that at the beginning of the season that anybody would have said that this game, the spread was going to be Utah minus 17.5. No way in the world. But you look at it, you look at what Utah does, you look at what Kansas State doesn't do, seems about right. Seems about right. And yeah, I'm taking Utah 17.5. I think they're going to punch Kansas State in the mouth early. This one might be over the first 10 minutes. They're going to punch them early. I don't think Kansas State is going to stand up to it. They may fight back a little bit. Matter of fact, I'm pretty positive they'll fight back. But in the end, Utah's just way too physical. Just way too physical.
Too physical, too committed to the run.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas State's done an adequate job, but you go back to the games where the defense couldn't get off the field, and it just becomes a house of cards. It just collapses on them, and then they can't get off the field, and it gets worse and worse as they just get battered, beaten, and worn out by a running game.
Yep.
And I think that's what Utah will do. I think this is a horrendous matchup for Kansas State, whether it was played in Manhattan, Topeka, Wichita, Fargo, but particularly Salt Lake City. It's just not a good matchup at all for Kansas State. We'll see if they show life, because they didn't show much life in winning at Oklahoma State last weekend. They too need one more win, but Utah's got a lot at stake here.
They do.
And I don't see any way they trip over this. This is one they should cruise to. And I think K-State fans, brace yourselves. Utah needs to make a statement, and it might involve hurting your feelings. It's not typically Kyle Whittingham style, but we'll see. We'll see if they want to put that out there in the world. Because the K-State name, despite the struggles this year, still carries a little cachet around the country, and beating them by 20 plus or more, just really say something solid about where Utah's at, because this is a good football team.
Correct. People that haven't watched Kansas State all year they still understand that Kansas State is a good program. They're not having a good season, but it's still a good program. Kind of like Utah last year. Utah was a great program. It just wasn't having a good season. Same thing here. And Utah, if they can, I think they're going to try to prove something, to show everybody, look, man, you got us. This is where you got us in the college football playoff. We need to start moving up a little bit. Got to move up a little bit. So moving on, TCU, who's quit, playing at Houston, who nobody goes to the games. -1.5 though. Houston favored by 1.5. You got to trust Vegas, but Houston can win 10 football games this year. If Houston comes out and plays their game and plays a physical style of football, they will win, because TCU won't do that. They refuse. Even though TCU has the manpower and the horses to play physical, the coaches won't allow it, because in opportunities where you've seen that, hey, playing physical is actually working, they stop doing it. They literally stop doing it, and that's a problem. But -1.5, look, even if Houston wins by a field goal, because TCU is more talented than Houston. That is a fact. They have more talented football players than Houston. But Houston, the coaching aspect of this is so far over on the Houston side of this football game. It's not even funny. So give me Houston -1.5.
You're right. Houston's going to win. I'm taking TCU. I'm behind in the standings. I need the Frogs to shoot blood from their eyes or whatever they do and win in Houston.
I mean, it's not inconceivable, because like I mentioned, TCU has better players. They have better players than what Houston, but it's not a better football team. It's not. And it's definitely not a better coach team.
I'm just blown away by the spread.
I know.
So I'm going on Vegas knows something.
They know something.
And I'm going to go with TCU because of that, which pretty much, congratulations to the Houston Cougars on a 9-win season, because Fitz just picked TCU. That's how it works.
Next up, we got Arizona State going to Colorado. Colorado is +7.5 at home. Look, this is one of those games where Arizona State's not going to let Colorado run the ball, but I don't think Colorado wants to run it. I think Colorado is going to come out fighting. I do think Arizona State wins, but I'm going to take Colorado in this game to cover. I do. A week off. I know they get fit. I know that Arizona State will try to run it, and Colorado's allergic to stopping the run. That defensive line and that defense in general. But I'm just going to say this game kind of gets into a little bit of a shootout, and I'm going to take Colorado to cover plus 7.5 here.
Look, I was going to do that, but since you did that, I'm in that kind of hurry up offense where you got to catch them. I think this could be a strangely entertaining game, competitive for some reason. I don't know why. But I will take Arizona State. I don't like the 7.5. At 6.5, I'd feel really good about it.
Right.
But 7.5 makes it a 2-score win, but I'll still take the Sun Devils.
Yeah, definitely a better team than Colorado. But we'll see what Colorado can do after a week off. See if they've quit or not. And we'll know early. I say that every week about teams, whether they've quit. You'll know early. The last time out, though, Colorado hadn't quit. They had every reason to quit against West Virginia, and they didn't. So good for them there. And then to me, and to a lot of people, the best game of the day in the Big 12, BYU traveling to Cincinnati. Cincinnati coming off of 2 losses in a row, getting blown out at Utah, getting beat at home against Arizona. The big talk about this is that Cincinnati is coming back to the pack, is that so many people that talk about the Big 12, that comment on this channel, all said Cincinnati's not that good. They're going to start coming back to the pack when their schedule gets tougher. Everybody was right. It just you couldn't do it before they actually started losing, and when they did, okay, now you got to rank them accordingly. Well, it's starting to happen, and BYU's defense is really good. Fitz. Defense travels, as we know, it always does, because it's not affected by crowd noise. Some people always ask that question. It's like, well, how come a defense, always travels? People say, well, that one of the reasons, because it's not affected by crowd noise, is that the communication that you have to have on defense, and all you're doing is reading and reacting. It's not affected by any of that stuff. Where you go on the road, it's affected. Just getting a play in, you go play at a place that's really loud, just that communication can be a problem. It's not the case as far as defense. BYU is a better football team than Cincinnati. It's not that Cincinnati is bad, but BYU is good. And minus 2.5, I think we're kidding ourselves on that. I'm taking BYU minus 2.5.
Yeah, the spread kind of sets me back a little bit.
I know.
I think Vegas might be a little bit like the committee. They're not fully sold on BYU despite that 9-1. There's plenty of other teams out there, committee, that you should not be sold on that has 2 losses. But I will go with BYU. I think they know the stakes here. They know what happened last year, how close they got, and then it fell apart. I don't see a way they're not prepared to play, either from their coaches or mentally in the locker room. I think they're going to come out and get after this. But this is a great opportunity for Cincinnati to salvage something out of a season that has seen them fade very quickly, and their Big 12 championship hopes are all but gone. But this will keep it alive just a sliver.
Right. Let me play a little devil's advocate with you here, Fitz. And I obviously want to get the conversation, and I want to get some vitriol started, a little chaos.
Good.
Say Cincinnati wins.
Yeah.
Utah, do they jump BYU in the rankings?
They might. They would. But ironically, BYU would still be in line to play for the Big 12 championship because they've got the head-to-head win.
I mean,
honestly, that might be the best thing to happen for Utah.
Yeah.
If you're a Utah fan, BYU losing and then probably losing again will clear them out of your way. They're not getting in the field that way. And I think Utah would be the second team in from the Big 12.
Now, I don't know, because at that point, I'm going to have to do what I don't want to do, is go through and start looking at all the tiebreakers for the Big 12, which I absolutely do not want to do. I just want to.
Right. There's more than just those 2.
And I don't want to have to deal with it. But if they lose, you're going to have to start looking at the tiebreakers. And for some crazy reason, it's not a crazy reason, actually, because everybody doesn't play everybody. So since they don't go like head to head is not the first thing that you look at when it comes to the tiebreak rules. So because everybody doesn't play everybody. But I kind of think that, I don't know. I know there's better ways to do it, but it's like, okay, if there's 4 teams that we're picking from, if 2 of those teams have played each other and whoever has lost, they got to be out. I would think. I don't know. That's my opinion. But then you look at, well, if I'm out, but what if my strength of schedule or strength of win or yada, yada, yada is all different? And I'm just like, man, if there's any head-to-head and somebody has lost, that team has to be out, and sorry. I know that stinks because I didn't play. Let's just say it's Arizona State and you didn't play Cincinnati. Well, I'm sorry, but if another team you lose, I don't know. It's craziness, chaos, which I always am an advocate for. I'm not because I don't want to do that research. I'll be honest, people. It's hard. It's not that I'm lazy, or you can say that I'm lazy. Either one, it's fine. I just don't want to do it, but I will. I'll have to dive in and figure it out. But what would be wild is because in the college football playoff, BYU's 11, Utah's 12. BYU loses, they're going to move them ahead of them.
Yep.
And my question is, how far would they drop BYU? Like, would they drop BYU to like 15, 16?
They would.
And then it would be like, well, wait a minute.
Yep. Yep.
And again, it would just be insane. I don't want to get into talking about other schools because I know Alabama fans are literally screaming right now how they're ranked behind Notre Dame, which they actually have a point. Notre Dame has no business being in the top 10. No business whatsoever. When your best win is USC and you lost to Miami, who happens to be 13. I heard Josh Pate this morning talking about it, and he's right. The college football committee put Miami so far down in the rankings compared to Notre Dame so they don't have to compare them. And I'm like, that makes sense. Yep. That makes sense because there's no way that you can say that they are that much better than a team that they lost to with the same record. It's just impossible. But
so if BYU loses, that would put BYU at 2 losses. Utah's probably going to win that. They're at 2 losses. Houston's the favorite. They'd be at 2 losses. Arizona State. That's Cincinnati. Oh, excuse me. Arizona State. Where's Arizona State?
They got 2 losses.
Yes, but they go to Colorado. They should win.
Yep.
And then Cincinnati would have won because they just beat them. You'd have potentially 5 teams with 2 losses. I'm going to have to run that through. I'm going to have to go to a Big 12 predictor and run the games through to see where we're at after that mess.
Brutal. Just brutal. But, hey, man, it's college football. Anything can happen, Fitz.
Due to the tiebreakers, Texas Tech will now meet Oklahoma State for the Big 12 title. Sorry, State. You got to take one for the team and go get your butt kicked to make Tech look good.
Man, it's gonna be wild if that happens, and it very well could. Cincinnati's not a bad football team. They're not at all. They can win. So, well, I appreciate everybody, man. Thank you very much. Game of the day or game of the week I'll have tomorrow for you guys. BYU traveling to Cincinnati. Should be a fun game. But until then, I will talk to you guys again. Good college basketball all week and leading up into next weekend. So make sure you guys are tuning in if you haven't already, man. Basketball started and it's going. It's going in this conference. Talk to you soon and have a good one.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.